Have you ever been so head over heels in love that you'd be willing to burn your entire world down just to be with someone? For Chloe, the newest star to grace our screens on 90 Day Fiance, the other way, this wasn't just a metaphor. She was ready to trade her perfectly curated, high-powered life in Boston for a sun-drenched forever with her man, Johnny, in Aruba. She packed her bags, said goodbye to her mom, and walked away from a six-figure marketing career without a second thought. But as she quickly discovered, sometimes the biggest obstacle to your happily ever after isn't a language barrier or a disapproving family, it's a gas stove. Let's rewind for a moment and truly grasp the magnitude of what Chloe was giving up. This wasn't just a move. It was a complete identity shift. Imagine a life in Boston filled with sophisticated brunches, the comforting hum of a successful career, and the financial freedom to solve most problems by simply opening your wallet. This was Chloe's reality. She was a woman in control, a professional who had built a life of comfort and luxury. Her decision to leave it all behind was born from a whirlwind, vacation romance that felt like something out of a movie. On a girls' trip to the sparkling shores of Aruba, she met Johnny, her pirate man, and fell devastatingly, irrevocably in love. Her friends, like the ever-practical Jennifer, saw the potential for disaster. Jennifer's warnings weren't malicious. They were born from a place of love and concern. She painted a picture of what could go wrong. What if the romance fizzled once the vacation vibes wore off? What if his charming persona hid something darker? What if Chloe, a woman accustomed to a certain standard of living, simply couldn't adjust to a simpler, more rugged island life? But Chloe was floating on a cloud of love, deaf to any and all skepticism. In her heart, Johnny was her destiny, and Aruba was their paradise. Johnny, for his part, was overjoyed. He lovingly cleared out his closet and prepared his home, transforming his bachelor pad into a space for two. He was ready to welcome the love of his life, yet even he harbored a seed of doubt. He knew the life she was leaving behind. He'd seen glimpses of her world, and he couldn't help but wonder if his humble home could ever truly feel like her home. The moment she landed, the dream began to collide with reality in small, almost comical ways. Johnny was there at the airport, flowers in hand, a perfect romantic hero. But the second they arrived at his house, the first tiny cracks began to show. First, it was the frantic search for a missing silk pillowcase. When Johnny, utterly baffled, asked what purpose this fancy fabric served, Chloe explained it was essential for preventing wrinkles. It was a moment that perfectly encapsulated their two different worlds, her world of preventative anti-aging skincare, and his world where a pillow is just a pillow. Then came the hot water saga. When Chloe mentioned needing hot water, Johnny casually remarked on how expensive it was. For Chloe, the solution was simple and immediate. "I'll pay for it," she offered, not once but twice. While her intention was to help, the exchange hung in the air, highlighting a fundamental difference in their financial realities and perspectives. It was the first sign that love, while powerful, might not be enough to bridge the gap between her lavish past and their shared future. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared them for the true test of their relationship: the kitchen stove. In a hilarious and telling sneak peek of the upcoming episode, the fairy tale came to a screeching, gas-scented halt. While Johnny was busy getting their beach gear ready, envisioning a day of sun and surf, Chloe was inside, facing her own personal dragon. Johnny, in his sweet, encouraging way, prompted her to make them some breakfast. It was a simple request that triggered a full-blown crisis. Staring at the gas stove as if it were a bomb, Chloe confessed something that left Johnny speechless. She had never, not once in her life, used a stove like this. "Does it need a lighter?" she asked, her voice a mixture of genuine curiosity and rising panic. You could almost see the cogs turning in Johnny's head as he processed this information. This brilliant, successful woman from America didn't know how to light a stove. Chloe went on to explain her culinary history, or lack thereof. In her world, if the family was hungry, they didn't cook. They went to a restaurant. The stove in her Boston home was a sleek, flat, electric cooktop, a predictable, controllable surface with no terrifying open flames. This gas-breathing monster in Johnny's kitchen was a different beast entirely. Her fear was palpable and honestly relatable. What am I supposed to do if the flame just, catches fire to something. She wondered aloud, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. As she timidly fiddled with the knobs, the hiss and smell of gas sent her reeling back. This wasn't the romantic adventure she'd signed up for. She didn't want to end up burning herself, or worse, their new home, to the ground, all for the sake of a few eggs. Adding to the sensory overload was a smoky mosquito-repellent coil burning nearby, which she eyed with deep suspicion. This single domestic moment was about so much more than cooking. The stove became a powerful metaphor for the entire journey she was on. Chloe had stepped out of her comfort zone and into a world that required a different set of skills she had never needed to learn. Her confidence and capability in the boardroom meant nothing in this kitchen. Here, she was a novice, completely dependent on Johnny's guidance. It's a hilarious, heart-wrenching, and profoundly real moment that sets the stage for their entire story. Can a woman who outsourced her meals her whole life learn to build a home with a man whose reality is so fundamentally different? Can Johnny find the patience to teach her, and can Chloe find the humility to learn? Their love story is no longer just about romantic beach walks and sweet nothings. It's about navigating the smoky, unpredictable, and potentially explosive challenges of real life. Will Chloe conquer the stove, or will their relationship go up in flames? For the latest 90-day Fiance tea, stay tuned to TV season and spoilers.